great way to start your day with all the news, weather, and sports you need, interesting interviews, and friendly conversation from two guys that go together like Scooby and Shaggy. Mike Will and Tyson Havronic.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Huddle Up here on Extreme Sports as we begin a brand new work week with you. It's a Monday morning, the 12th day of January for 2026. Mike Will, Tyson Havronic standing by. We've got all of your news, weather, and sports that you need to get out the door here this morning. Going to be talking about lots of stuff on the show today. The Nebraska women's basketball team, they lost to fourth-ranked UCLA 83-61 yesterday at PBA. Huskers are now 14-3 in the season. They're 3-3 in the conference. They'll play at Michigan State on Thursday. Big win for the Nebraska men's basketball team. They battled back from a 16-point second-half deficit on Saturday and beat Indiana on the road by the score of 83-77. Nebraska now 16-0 in the season. They've won 20 games in a row, and the Huskers will play host to Oregon on Tuesday. We got some comments coming up here on the show today from Husker head coach Fred Hoiberg and Nebraska women's coach Amy Williams. Nebraska assistant gymnastics coach and Olympic gold medalist Jim Hartung has died at the age of 65. We've got a new defensive line coach. Corey Brown has been hired as a new defensive line coach at Nebraska. He comes in after spending 3 years at Miami of Ohio. Bellevue West graduate Danny Kalin is returning to the Nebraska football team. Of course, Kalin had that outstanding high school career at Bellevue West, redshirted at Nebraska in 2024, and then transferred to Virginia for the 2025 season. Well, Danny, he's coming back to join the quarterback room that also includes T.J. Lateef and UNLV transfer Anthony Colandro. So we'll talk about that coming up on the show today. Redshirt sophomore linebacker Willis McGahee has withdrawn from the transfer portal. He is coming back to Lincoln. Huskers also getting some commitments over the weekend. We'll tell you who's in, who's out. Hastings College women's basketball team winners over Morningside on Saturday. Hastings College men, they lost to the Mustangs. Had some high school basketball played on Saturday. So other than that, not a whole lot happened over the weekend. We've got all the details coming up, including the NFL playoffs and our Blazing Five as we welcome in Tyson Havronic from the Western Studios. Good morning, my man.
Yeah, not a whole lot happening. Slow sports weekend, I guess, as we move forward. Not a whole lot to talk about as we open up shop here on a Monday morning. Are you kidding me? Wow, what a good weekend for NFL playoff action. You mentioned Husker basketball. You had plenty to pick from on the international scene, which we'll probably not get to unless we have extra time for news and notes at the end. Just high drama with the FA Cup over the weekend and international soccer. So, lots to get to, lots to discuss. I guess we start with Nebraska basketball. They continue to do incredible things on their march this season. I've seen one pollster, if you will, bracket predictor has moved Nebraska already up into the chatter for one of the very top seeds in the NCAA basketball tournament.
Oh no!
Oh yeah!
Oh no! Pump the brakes, people.
Those are people that are making. Basically, if the season ended today, he would be putting Nebraska into a number one seed, and that's kind of how he does his projections. A 16-point deficit at multiple times Saturday. To be fair, Saturday and Sunday. This was true with the Bills game as well. But multiple times I had said, okay, we're done. Like, this game's over. The streak's over. It was fun while it lasted. Mentally preparing myself for a loss that didn't exist, a loss that didn't happen, a game of runs with the Huskers and the Hoosiers, and you got to be proud and excited that this is such a resilient bunch, and at no point in the game can you count this team out. That wasn't the case 2 years ago. That wasn't the case last year with this basketball team. But, you know, when you look at it and you go full circle, and all the fun that we poked with the Huskers going to the college there was discussion among the team on whether or not they were even going to participate at the end of last year to go to the Crown. The way that season ended in such a spiral and total train wreck that resulted in the Huskers not even making their conference tournament. Remember, there was discussion. Hoiberg asked the boys to talk amongst themselves, and discuss if this was something they wanted to do. And the boys came back and said, we're all in on this college basketball crown. That run in the postseason last year has propelled them this year. It made this a tight-knit team. They are so fun to watch. Then you add the Lincoln Southwest freshman in Frager, and God, he's just a phenom. Went total takeover mode. This team has no quit, and I don't know what the ceiling is for this basketball team. I'm just enjoying the ride.
Huskers will take on Oregon tomorrow at PBA. Tip-off will be at 8 on BTN. The Nebraska women ran into a buzzsaw last night. They lost to fourth-ranked UCLA 83-61. So the Huskers now 14-3. They're 3-3 in the conference. They're going to play at Michigan State on Thursday. Tip-off will be at 6 on BTN. So that's the Husker news from over the weekend. Let's talk the NFL playoffs, shall we? Mm-hmm. Had some great games in the NFL playoffs over the weekend. The Rams beat Carolina 34-31. The Bears coming back to beat the Packers by the score of 31-27. Your Buffalo Bills, they won over Jacksonville. Come from behind effort yesterday in a great game, 27-24. And then my lock of the weekend, the San Francisco 49ers. Yeah, they go into Philadelphia, not only cover the 5.5-point spread. San Francisco beats Philadelphia 23-19. And then the game last night, New England over the Los Angeles Chargers, 16-3. Tonight you've got the final first-round playoff game as Houston plays at Pittsburgh. So what was the most exciting game for you to watch over the weekend? Other than Buffalo.
I was gonna say, are you serious with the question?
Yeah, other than Buffalo.
Yeah, Buffalo, obviously. With Josh Allen just going into total takeover mode in the fourth quarter. What a time to be alive for Josh Allen right now. That first down run, where he just carried the rest of the team with him.
Yeah, it was amazing.
And I know that y'all talk about, aiding the runner. There was no aiding the runner on that play where he grabbed 7 different defensive linemen and just carried them on his back for 10 yards. That was incredible. And he followed it up with the controversial decision, and I get it, when Jacksonville just let them score. But yeah, that's such a tough decision on when you let that, because that rush defense had Buffalo's number really until that last drive. I think they finally started to wear down when JA-17 went into takeover mode. But that decision to let him score, I've never really been a fan of that, especially when your run defense is throughout the day had got the penetration against Buffalo's offensive line that they did. I was kind of head scratcher for me. But it is what it is. Then Trevor Lawrence throws the INT and Buffalo wins the football game. That was amazing. That was fun. I would have said Chicago and Green Bay was maybe the most exciting. Unfortunately, I didn't get to watch that because, it was on Prime. So that was the greatest football game in the world that nobody saw. Carolina,
the Bears rallied from 17, 18 points down.
Yeah.
Late in the game to beat the Packers 31-27 in that game.
They were hurting. The Eagles 49ers game was, I think it had everything you wanted. It had great defense. It had good special teams. It had some trick plays. That was just good football. Unfortunately for the 49ers, the injury train has come and left the station once again. Was it George Kittle? Sprained ACL, torn ACL.
I think it's a torn ACL now. Yep, that's the official
torn
word.
Achilles.
torn an Achilles tendon. He's out for the rest of the playoffs, obviously. And that
bummer.
This joins a couple of other guys, defensive back and Nick Bosa and linebacker Fred Warner, who's been on the sidelines. So San Francisco playing with some of their stars now on the bench as they win a big ball game with the Philadelphia yesterday and ousting the Eagles. I was not unhappy to see that.
I was going to say, as a Chiefs fan,
yeah, I'd love that.
How gratifying was that?
I was ecstatic. In fact, I told you that San Francisco was my lock of the weekend. I was happy that came through over the weekend. And then I texted a couple of San Francisco 49ers fans immediately after the game and said, is there room on the bandwagon?
Ooh.
Yeah, I'm going to hop aboard. I think I told you this on Friday. San Francisco was since I didn't have a dog in the fight, so to speak.
Yep.
I was looking for a team to maybe hop on board and maybe ride the bandwagon for a while, and I think San Francisco is that team.
Okay.
San Francisco might be that team.
You don't have like divisional or traditional rivalry.
No, I'm not going to cheer for the Chargers.
Well, no, but what I'm saying is like you're a Chiefs/Cowboys fan, and typically a Cowboys fan probably wouldn't hop on a 49ers bandwagon because of the just hated rivalry that those two teams had in the mid-90s. Remember in the heyday, like the T.O. and...
back in the 90s, come on!
It was
30
it was
years ago. 30, get over it. 30 years ago. This is 2026.
I'm just saying, some of those rivalries run deep, and it's weird to see fans that just jump on board.
Yeah,
like, I don't think Coach Arians would be going for the 49ers right now.
I don't know. We should call him up and ask him.
His team, the show.
His team's not
knows
in the playoffs.
number.
Well, his team's not in the playoffs either. So when you don't have a team in the playoffs, you look for somebody to kind of ride their shirt tails for a while just to make the rest of the season fun.
I bet he's going for my Bills.
Is that team? No, the last team that would be in the playoffs.
I bet he's going for my Bills, Coach Arians.
If Buffalo was in the last team in the playoffs, I wouldn't go for them. So I do have some hatred, I guess.
I was going to say, let that shit go.
Yeah, yeah.
You won.
But that
you were the victor.
But that wasn't from 30 years ago. I just don't like the Bills. Maybe it's because of you.
There's a realistic possibility that
maybe
exists.
it's because of you, because I have to put up with your crap every day.
Every day?
Well, most every day we talked about the Bills. So, anyway, those are the NFL games for you. Let me put up the Blazing Five.
Well,
Let me put up the Blazing Five because, once again, the Eastern Studios is coming on here at the end of the year with back-to-back winning weeks. I am now 7-3. I've hit 7 out of my last 10 games. Mm-hmm. I go 4-1 this week.
Mm-hmm.
IT guy is 3-1. He's got the Texans going tonight. You are at 2-2. You've got the Texans going tonight, so you're going to need the Texans to cover.
That's right.
To have a winning weekend. But all in all, not a bad week for the guys here. But once again, for the second straight week, the guy who has been taking so much crap on his Blazing Fives from not only my co-host, but other people that are lined up with his show.
You know what it is? I think you just get too overwhelmed in the season. You have too many games to pick from.
Because the same thing happened last year. I think I closed
same thing.
Yep, I think I closed with a flurry last year.
The tighter the schedule gets and the less games that we have to pick from is when you come into your element.
Yeah, I can really zone in. I can really zone in on 8-10 games.
Oh.
And boy, when it gets down to 6 or 7 or 8, I can really zone in on those babies. So yeah, I go 4-1 this week. You're sitting at 2-2 with the Texans going tonight. IT guy 3-1 with the Texans going tonight. So right now the season standings, you're still out on top, 60-44. IT guy is at 53-50-1, and I have now inched up to 48-57 on the season.
Look at that. Good for you. I mean, I'm glad that you're at least making it somewhat respectable to end the year. But yeah, I mean, look at me. When the MAC, Conference USA, and the Sun Belt games all run out, I go to trash. When I don't have my cash cows anymore, it goes away.
Yeah, so we got the Blazing Five again. Well, we'll have the National Championship game and the NFL games to choose from on Friday. Let's talk about college football.
Ouch.
Indiana.
Ouch.
Over Oregon. You were all over the Ducks last week.
Yeah.
The guy that you would like to punch in the face.
Yeah, still do.
56-22 winners over Oregon. God, is Indiana good or are they good?
It might be one of the best constructed college football teams I've ever seen. I still hate them, but it might be one of the best football teams I've ever seen constructed. Very first play out of the gate, you knew it was over. Instantaneous. And I think a lot of that is just Nebraska fans being Nebraska fans, and we kind of know when the writing's on the wall and can smoke a cigarette because this baby's toast and dusted. That's how I felt on the very first play. You knew it was Indiana's football game to win. Oregon throws the pick six, and then Indiana just stomps on the throat. No starters getting pulled. A coach that demanded absolute perfection, even in the moments where they knew that they had this game wrapped up, done, and dusted. That's a difference maker right there. Fernando Mendoza is a difference maker right there. He's proven why he's going to be the top quarterback taken in the NFL draft by the Raiders. You would hope for that poor franchise.
Yeah, don't screw that up, Vegas.
That's a pretty good layup for you in Vegas right now. That Mendoza is going to be the overwhelming favorite to be the next quarterback for the black and silver. But my God, yeah, they just rub their noses in it all night long, and I haven't seen if they put out the line yet for the Natty.
Yep,
it's
7.5.
Still a week away. Is it
7.5? I
would have expected that to be a little higher, to be honest with you.
Yeah, they're going to play Miami for the national championship next Monday, 6:30 starting time.
It is in Miami.
Yeah, it's at Miami's home field.
Nice if you can get it.
Miami knocking off Ole Miss in the other semifinal game last week, 31-27. Indiana wins over Oregon, 56-22. So they'll play the game in Miami, Hard Rock Stadium, or whatever they call that joint down there.
You know, the troll of the weekend, and I loved this, because Kirk Cignetti almost tried to become personable to get him to get off my punchable face list. When he made that comment in the postgame show about, I don't really care about Miami right now, I just kind of want to crack a beer.
That's right.
I loved that. I loved that. But then, so the troll was when Hoiberg did that after the win against Indiana. So then Nebraska basketball, less than 24 hours after Kirk Cignetti makes that comment, and they were interviewing Hoiberg on the Big Ten Network after the Husker basketball comeback victory against Indiana in Bloomington, and he goes, "Oh, I'm not thinking about our next opponent right now. I'm just thinking about cracking open a beverage." And he said beverage, so it was good. It was good trolling by Fred Hoiberg. I loved it. But yeah, he almost became personable to me at that moment.
I'm going to effort to get some Indiana football audio on the show because I know you like to hear this guy talk and how conceited he is. I want to get him on this week just to kind of pepper our enthusiasm for the game coming up on Monday. I'm with you. I think it's all Indiana for Monday.
I do too.
I've been on Miami's bandwagon up until now in the playoffs.
Right.
But I can't see Miami stopping Indiana.
And I've bet against Indiana at every single turn.
Yep, you were a pretty strong Duck fan.
Yep.
Last week. And that was one of my Blazing Five picks.
I had Bama beating Indiana 2 weeks ago.
I got started off on a good note this week. I was feeling good about my picks. I started things off with Indiana.
You could be 5-0 right now.
I could have been.
Yeah.
But the Rams kind of let me down. I thought the Rams would cover. against the Carolina, and they kind of hung on 34-31. I could have been 5-0 for the first time this season. But 4-1, I'll take that. So, anyway, Danny's coming up on Monday down in Miami.
Next Monday.
Yep, Miami and the Indiana Hoosiers. You mentioned the injury to George Kittle for the San Francisco 49ers. He is out. Tore his Achilles tendon in the bowl game yesterday. There's some problems at Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman, the head coach for Notre Dame, evidently was involved in a scuffle with his son's high school wrestling coach. He's accused of battery in a police report where the wrestling coach filed a police report against the Notre Dame coach alleging battery. They evidently got into an argument, a conversation following the Al Smith Wrestling Invitational where his son, Vinny, evidently lost a match, and as they were walking off the mat, they got into an altercation with the wrestling coach, and now the wrestling coach is accusing Marcus Freeman of a battery. He's filed a police report. Video evidence shows that there was nothing there, but they got to follow through with things. And now Marcus Freeman has got to deal with this on the offseason.
Yeah, Notre Dame's already put out a statement, fully supporting Vinny Freeman, head coach. Marcus Freeman's son was verbally accosted during and after his wrestling match by a local wrestling coach. Marcus and Joanna Freeman intervened and removed Vinny from the situation. At no point did Coach Freeman physically engage with anyone. We believe that the police report, which includes video evidence, fully exonerates Coach Freeman and makes clear these accusations are totally unfounded. That according to the University of Notre Dame. Already putting out a statement. I don't think this will be too much of a blip on the radar. Just some guy trying to
make some headlines. The future of Matt LaFleur as the head coach of the Green Bay Packers I want to bring up.
LaFleur.
Of course, the Packers blew that 18-point lead Saturday in the NFC wildcard game against the Bears. LaFleur is in the final year of his contract for the upcoming season. They've got a new team president now at Green Bay, Ed Policy, and he said he did not want to have a lame duck coach for next season, so either they give Matt LaFleur an extension of his contract or they're going to oust him as the head coach. He could be the next NFL coach to go by the wayside, and it could be done fairly quickly. It was not done last night. It's probably the meeting is going to be set up for today, I would expect. Now, the Packers under Matt LaFleur.
Okay.
76-40-1 during the regular season. They've made the playoffs in 6 of the 7 seasons. But they have not yet reached the Super Bowl and have not yet been to a conference championship game since the 2020 season, the second of back-to-back appearances for LaFleur in his first 2 years. So what do you do if you're the president of the Green Bay Packers with your head coach, Matt LaFleur?
You keep him.
Yeah, I would think you keep Matt LaFleur, give him a contract extension, maybe not for 5-6 years, but for a couple of years.
So he's got a little bit of Marvin Lewis syndrome going on. You remember Marvin Lewis would always take that shtick until he didn't when the Bengals finally fired him. But that was Marvin Lewis's play. I think for 11 straight years took the Bengals to the playoffs, but never could you really get over the wild card or divisional round, and they always would fall short. But it was a good football team, and they were very successful. So, and LaFleur's still a young enough guy. Seems to get the locker room to rally around. And again, you can't negate the injury factors and what happens if this full roster stays healthy and losing Parsons right before the playoff starts was a huge hole that Green Bay had to fill. So I don't take nothing on them. Plus they ran into just a really damn good Bears team that everybody should take a page on how to assemble and reconstruct a team in 1 year, because that's what Chicago did. So kudos to them.
They did have an 18-point lead in that game.
I'd keep Matt LaFleur.
So look for that in the news today as your day progresses. Dylan Raiola, for the first time, has surfaced. His name has surfaced in the transfer portal.
Surfaced?
Yeah, I saw this morning that he's making his official visit to Oregon.
Good.
Now, that's an interesting deal there. Dante Moore is the quarterback for Oregon. Many people thought that Dante Moore would declare for the NFL draft.
Yeah.
It doesn't appear that Dante Moore is going to declare for the NFL draft. So Dylan Raiola is now visiting Oregon with the prospects of being the backup quarterback for the Ducks with Dante Moore as the head man.
Well, he's looking at a situation where if he was to backtrack and go back to Nebraska, he's probably fourth string right now. So, I mean, the Danny Kaelin news was big. Getting him to come back home, to be honest, probably the job probably should have been his to begin with. Re-gets the keys here, so to speak. I got to think Danny Kaye is the front runner. And I'll be serious. I'll be honest with you, I do. And I know he hasn't shown anything, stat wise or on film, but I got to give Danny Kaye an edge coming back.
Remember, last week we were talking that we thought Nebraska would sign another quarterback.
Yeah,
Danny Kaelin.
I love it.
If you missed that over the weekend, that's the guy from Bellevue West, where a lot of Husker faithful, back in 2024 when they redshirted Danny Kaelin, they didn't think that was the right move.
Yeah, and I was
Dylan Raiola eventually got the job. So Danny took off after that 2024 season. He played at Virginia. He was the backup there, though, for the Cavaliers.
That's fine.
Competed in 7 games.
That's fine.
Completed 30 of 52 passes, 339 yards, a touchdown, rushed for 72 yards. So now he comes back to Nebraska with the quarterback room that includes T.J. Lateef and UNLV transfer Anthony Calandria. So there's our quarterback room for next week. Danny Kaelin's going to join the mix. If you'd like to leave us a message on that, your feelings. Are we set now at quarterback? You feel confident with one of those 3 guys?
Can we please? Yeah. I mean, can we move on to the actual positions?
Yeah. Are you confident with one of those 3 guys that grab the keys to the car, so to speak, and to drive us next year?
I told you before the damn portal started, Mike, that quarterback was the least of our issues, and that we had to focus on so many other things. And what has been the central focal point of this transfer portal season but the quarterback spot? So, yeah, it's time to, lock the doors in the quarterback room. We're good there.
Yeah, we don't need 6 more quarterbacks.
Jesus Christ, no.
Yeah, we don't need 6 more quarterbacks. 3 quarterbacks is enough. We're going to have another one come here for next year. So that's enough.
And it is, because then all you're doing is you're going to just run through the same cycle the next year. You bring in 4 or 5 quarterbacks, well, 4 or 5 of them are going to hit the transfer portal.
Yeah, they'll get out of here.
Right.
So anyway, go ahead. I was just going to say, that was breaking news over the weekend.
Yeah.
That a lot of people may have missed. Danny Kaelin is coming back to join the Nebraska football team.
Danny freaking K. I just want to hit the comment section really quick before we take our break. Ryan Martin, he's having some Kansas basketball blues. They lost to West Virginia over the weekend, so he's Kansas basketball with the capital letters sucks right now.
What is the problem with them?
I don't know.
What is the problem with Kansas basketball?
I watched a little bit of the second half, and I don't know if it was the problem with Kansas basketball or West Virginia was just real good, but
Kansas does suck.
Mountaineers looked real good.
Kansas sucks about like my Blazing 5 picks have been throughout the season.
Minus the last 2 weeks.
Minus the last 2 weeks where I carried the baggage with me.
Thanks for carrying the team. Well, about time you carried the team. Our backs were broke by the time that you were like, oh, well, Thanks for getting us to the goal. You're like the touchdown vulture in fantasy football, where the back carries the rock for 99 yards, gets it down to the goal line, and then the coach is like, hey, let's bring in the fullback. Bring in the fullback now.
Bring that Tyson Evronic guy in.
To get that guy off.
Let him pound his way in from 1 yard out.
Chief Endorf, Packers would be dumb if they fired LaFleur. I agree.
Yeah.
I think that would be it. I mean, unless you have Harbaugh lined up, that would be dumb.
I don't like Harbaugh at Green Bay. I don't know where he's going to land, if he's going to land someplace for next season.
He doesn't have to land.
No, he doesn't have to land.
He can just kick his feet up for
a year and worry about it next year.
Right.
But you know how coaches are. If the offer is right,
do you think, I'm going to pose the question,
all right,
that there is still an NFL team in the playoffs that would have a coaching change if they don't win a Super Bowl or don't go to the Super Bowl?
Who would it be? You got Buffalo and Denver. I would say no and no. Ooh, Buffalo. You don't like that. You don't like the Buffalo coach.
Well, it's not that I don't like him. It's just that we haven't got over the hump.
Yeah,
you know?
Now that you mention that.
Yeah.
Now that you
Sean
mention
McDermott. Okay, so here's Buffalo's scenario. Every year we talk about, well, God, we were right there, but we ran into Pat Mahomes. We were right there, but we ran into Lamar Jackson. You're talking about an AFC playoff pitcher without Lamar, without the Chiefs dynasty and Patrick Mahomes. If not this year, then win for Buffalo. And I think that is a discussion that is starting to get louder and louder and louder. There is a silent majority out there that thinks that Sean McDermott's coaching for his job.
They've got Buffalo in the next round.
Playoff.
Or Buffalo and Denver.
Denver can give you fits.
Yeah, I don't know if I would. I don't know if I like Buffalo's chances against the Denver Broncos.
I didn't like them last year. We found a way to win in the second half. But
so
Bo Nix went toe-to-toe with Josh Allen.
Yeah, now you bring that up. Harbaugh at Buffalo.
And what a ripple effect that would have. And I think that, Dakota was the one that brought it to my attention yesterday in a text thread. But I think that's why you haven't seen a lot of these coaches that are out there right now that hit Black Monday sign with new NFL teams. I think everyone wants to see what the Bills are going to do. Because that would have a huge ripple effect on the coaching carousel.
I can't see San Francisco, Seattle. Rams, Chicago, they're not going to make a coaching change.
No. Sean McVay has a coaching contract for life.
Yeah, New England is not. The only other one would be maybe Pittsburgh if Tomlin would decide maybe to retire.
He's got to retire at this point.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to fire Mike Tomlin.
No, that would be stupid.
If he decides to maybe step down, that could be a possibility for Harbaugh.
One other scenario that I keep hearing as Indiana keeps winning. What do you think about Cignetti to the NFL?
No.
Do you think he'd go?
No. We talked about this last week.
I know we did.
I
didn't know if your mind changed by then.
No, it hasn't. I think he stays put. Do you? Now that you've had the weekend to think about it, do you think that the guy that you would like to punch in the face would come over to the NFL?
I think
you can punch him in the face on Sunday instead of Saturday?
I think his ego is going to write a check that he can't cash. Eventually, his ego is going to write a check that he can't cash. I think he would be entertained with an NFL deal.
Especially if he wins the national championship next week?
Especially if he wins the national championship.
Yeah, what's he got to prove?
There's going to be another thing he's going to do, and he wants to cross off the list.
Win a national championship and a Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they can punch him in the face on Sunday. I'm going to get you one of those punching bags for the summer.
It would end up hurting me.
Get you one of those punching bags with his face.
Cignetti to the Bills. No, I would forever be
wouldn't that be great?
I would quit watching football.
Wouldn't that be great? Oh, that would be the capper, wouldn't it? It would be. Oh, geez. Yeah, who came up with that?
IT guy.
IT guy. Getting to the Bills, that'd be great. So, anyway, just some interesting developments there. So, in the divisional round of the playoffs, we mentioned the NFL results earlier. Saturday, you're going to have Buffalo playing at Denver, San Francisco at Seattle. Sunday, it's the Rams at Chicago. Then whoever wins tonight between Pittsburgh and Houston will play at New England next week. So that's what's going on in the National Football League. All right, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports. It's 7:35.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We will start off in Grand Island, where police say a reported bomb threat at the Grand Island Casino over the weekend turned out to be a swatting call. Officers were called to the casino at around 2 o'clock on Sunday afternoon after a caller claimed multiple bombs were inside the building. Police responded quickly and worked with casino security, but no explosives or weapons were found. Investigators later determined the call was made by a spoofed phone number through a third-party service. Nearby areas, including the Heartland Event Center, were temporarily cleared as a precaution. The Grand Island Police Department takes all reported threats seriously and will continue to investigate incidents of swatting which divert emergency resources and can place the public and first responders at risk. Meanwhile, lawmakers in Nebraska are proposing several new laws at the state capitol. One bill would create a new tax break to help the first-time home buyers save for down payments and closing costs. I like that. Another proposal would change how members of the state's Medical Cannabis Commission are selected, shifting from governor appointments to elections after critics say the current commission has not moved quickly enough to implement medical cannabis laws that voters have approved. Meanwhile, a debate over Capitol decorations wrapped up with an apology from a senator who removed a poster display earlier in the week. Yeah, this is a wild story, so buckle up. Senator Michaela Cavanaugh had removed posters that were produced by Prager University, which is a conservative advocacy group. They put those posters up for the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Cavanaugh said at the time she did not know the display had been approved by the Capitol Commission. Commission staff then retrieved the posters from her office and put them back on display. I don't like those posters. Take them down. That wraps up the news portion of the show. We 7:37, heading back to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going down in sports?
So we mentioned that Danny Kaelin coming back to join the Huskers. He was at Virginia last year. Backup quarterback there. Played in 7 games. Completed 30 of 52 passes for 339 yards and a touchdown. Rushed for 72 yards. He'll join a quarterback room now in Nebraska that includes T.J. Lateef and UNLV transfer Anthony Calandria. Redshirt sophomore linebacker Willis McGahee IV is withdrawn from the transfer portal. He is returning to Lincoln. McGahee saw action in 5 games this year and finished with 4 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. Huskers got some commitments over the weekend from defensive back Victor Evans from Florida International, long snapper Jack Wills from Michigan State, and wide receiver Kawazi Gilmer from UCLA. Hastings College women's basketball team jumped out to a 14-2 lead and never trailed in their 89-71 win over Morningside on Saturday. Jocelyn Miller led the way with a career-high 26 points to go along with 4 steals and 3 rebounds. Hastings is now 12-5 on the season, 8-3 in the conference. They'll play at Concordia on Wednesday. Hastings College men's basketball team lost to Morningside 80-71. Deron Hall had 28 points, 4 assists, and 3 rebounds for the Broncos. Hastings now 4-14 on the season, 3-8 in the conference. They'll also play at Concordia on Wednesday. The Nebraska Kearney women's basketball team lost to Emporia State 82-78 on Saturday. The men lost to Emporia State 82-79. Both teams will play at Northwest Missouri on Thursday. High school basketball on Saturday. Hastings High boys beat Lexington 61-42 for their first win of the season. Tigers are now 1-9. The Hastings High girls are also 1-9. They lost to Lexington 42-25. Both teams will play host to Aurora on Tuesday. That's a check on your sports headlines at 7:40 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
We're back to the weekly grind on this Monday, but at least the weather will be quite mild, if not warm, this week. Today we'll have a high of close to 60 degrees, plenty of sunshine, and a light west wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 37, all the way up to the low 60s on Tuesday with partly sunny skies, 33 with a chance of some sprinkles or snow flurries Tuesday night. Wednesday, we cool back to the low 40s with plenty of sunshine.
As you wake up, get going this morning, west winds at 7, partly cloudy skies. It is 28 in Hastings at Extreme.
Hi guys, this is Justin Consrick with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. Just want to talk to you about how we do things. I talk to farmers every day. A lot of guys just want a simple, honest way to sell equipment. That's why I work with Adam Marshall Land and Auction. We know the equipment, we know the buyers. We run real auctions with no buyer's fees, which brings in more bidders and stronger results. From one machine to the full lineup, we handle marketing, the details, the sales start to finish. We're just real people with real auctions, real results. If you're thinking about auctioning equipment, reach out and give us a call at 308-991-5429.
I'm John Butler, Funeral Director and Owner at Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center in Hastings.
And I'm Nikki Butler, the Advanced Funeral Planning Specialist. Whether you choose a traditional service, cremation, or a unique memorial service, our experienced staff is here to help guide you through every step. Visit us at lbvfh.com to learn more about our services and how we can support you.
Livingston Butler Volland Funeral Home and Cremation Center. We are here when your need is greatest.
Hamilton has been providing IT solutions for businesses across the state of Nebraska for more than 3 decades. We know that Nebraska businesses are a driving force of support for the communities in which we live and work. We keep them connected and protected by delivering cybersecurity, hosted phones, and managed IT. We are grateful to be part of our Nebraska communities and to support their technology needs.
More information at
Get ready for the ultimate trivia experience with Extreme Sports Trivia. Play from anywhere at home, on the go, or at your favorite bar or restaurant. Compete live against players from all over in real time, answering questions across categories like sports, pop culture, Marvel, and more. Want to see how you stack up? Track your progress with live leaderboards and aim for the top spot. It's free, fun, and super easy to play. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at extremesports.com trivia and start playing now. And keep an eye out. We're coming soon to a bar or restaurant near you.
All right, Mike Will, Tyson Abronic with you. This is Huddle Up on Extreme Sports for a Monday. Thanks for joining us wherever you're listening to us today. Either on our website at x-streamsports.com, maybe on your smartphone with our free mobile app on your way to work or school this morning. On your smart speaker, Roku TV, Facebook Live, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you're listening to us. Thanks for joining us. You can always chime in with us, too. 402-834-1330. 402-834-1330. That's the Hamilton Telecommunications fan line. If you'd like to leave us a message on our social media sites, we're monitoring those comments as well. Talked a lot in the first half hour. NFL football, Nebraska football transfer portal type news. Husker basketball, Husker men picking up a big win over Indiana over the weekend. The Husker women losing to UCLA. New polls will be out today for college basketball. I would think There were a lot of upsets in the lower half of the rankings over the weekend, so I would not expect a whole lot of change in the top 10. I understand Villanova putting the pressure on the Huskers for the number 10 spot, so those two teams might switch this week. Villanova moving up to 10th and Nebraska dropping to 11th, but we'll see what happens with the college football or the college basketball poll out later on today. Talk some Huskers, shall we? Yesterday, the Nebraska women losing to a very good team in UCLA. Bruins are ranked 4th in the nation. They beat the Huskers at PBA 83-61. Husker head coach Amy Williams was disappointed with a loss.
We're disappointed. We want to win when we play at home every single time, and we knew that it was going to take a special effort on the boards in order to beat a team like UCLA here. And we got out-rebounded by 15. I thought that was a really big factor in today's game.
Coach says they were locked in defensively in the first quarter, but then things kind of changed after that.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that we were pretty glued into our game plan, and then I think, a couple things happened sometimes, like offensively, where we were not getting the shots that we wanted, or we might have some turnovers, and then all of a sudden that leads to a few run-out layups, and it just kind of is a little bit deflating. But, when you look at the box score and it's like, okay, it's just, they outscore you by 6 in this quarter and 2 in this quarter, and, it just kind of feels like it's a slow bleed in a game like this, and it just it wasn't necessarily like, one huge run that I can put my finger on, but more just, kind of a couple reactions after negative plays on offense that led to transition runouts or offensive rebound, kick out, dagger 3 plays that, and obviously they have, they're led by 6 very experienced seniors that, are projected to be potentially 5 first-round draft picks. It's an incredibly talented roster that they're going to make you pay when you have 17 turnovers.
And one of those seniors is Lauren Betts for UCLA. She might be one of the best defensive players in the nation.
Yeah, I mean, I think she really affects the game in a lot of different ways. And just, defensively, she blocks shots, but she also just alters things and just creates situations. Obviously, she had 5 steals and 4 blocks, and but I think the things that she alters or kind of just deters people from really wanting to kind of come in the paint, I think that is evident. But I think the way that you have to game plan for her on the offensive side of the ball and really throw some double teams. You can't just play her one-on-one, and then they surround her with some really good shooters. And she's an underrated passer, I feel like, and particularly out of double teams. And so just a really good all-around player.
Nebraska's Brent Prince had a tough game for the Huskers, but Amy Williams says that Brent will learn a lot from this game.
It's a credit to Britt because she was really, really good against them in the conference tournament at the end of last season. And so, it's not a surprise that they were keying on her so much. And I think, I just feel like, Britt is such a competitor that there's just zero doubt in my mind that she'll be hungry. She'll be chomping at the bit to get in with our coaching staff to break down some film, to figure out, how can I continue to stay aggressive-minded offensively? Where can I get some opportunities to score for myself, but also just make better reads, up ball screens, etc.
All right, so the Huskers losing to UCLA yesterday, 83-69. Bruins held Nebraska to a season-low 61 points in the ball game by limiting the Huskers to a season-low 37.7% shooting. Amaya Hargrove led the way 12 points off of the bench. Nebraska now 14-3 on the season, 3-3 in the conference. They'll play at Michigan State on Thursday. Tip-off will be at 6 o'clock on BTN. The Nebraska men's basketball team, they beat Indiana on Saturday. Final score of 83-77. Huskers battled back from a 16-point second-half deficit to get the win. Husker head coach Fred Hoiberg.
Well, I think you got to give Indiana a lot of credit for really turning the momentum in their favor in that first half. I love the start. We talk a lot about that in these early games, the importance of it to stay in it. And then, we're down 9, which is manageable. It's tough when you're on the road, and, they had everything going, and we had nothing going there at the end. And we talked about it at halftime. We've been in this spot before, and we came out. They pushed the lead up to 16, and there's just no panic with this group. That's the thing I've been most impressed is, their emotions are the same, their body language doesn't change, and, eventually we loosened them up and went on a little bit of a run. We couldn't get free there in that second part of the first half. And then second half, I thought our efficiency was outstanding, and we got a couple of those in transition. We got a couple steals. Our hands got really active after not doing a good job. We had 7 deflections in the first media timeout, and then for the next probably 15 minutes, we weren't very good. And once we got that going again, that's what got us out going. We got a layup. Price hit the big 3. In transition to tie it, Jamarcus hits a step-in 3. And, I thought Jamarcus, the way that he went out there and played the whole second half was, speaks to the job Kurt Joseph does with our guys, our strength and conditioning staff, and, just found a way to gut one out in a really tough building against what I think is a hell of a team. That Indiana team's got a lot of talent. They shoot it, and, Wilkerson to me is one of the most dynamic guards, not only in the league, but in the country. So, again, proud of the guys for how they continue to find a way, and, we're going to continue to come out and prepare and not be satisfied. We got a big one coming up on Tuesday.
And the coach went on to say that the message was pretty clear when the Huskers fell behind by 16 points.
Hey, this is just to keep going. I mean, one possession at a time. You're not going to get it all back at once. And, our guys, again, they did it with their defense. That's what I was most pleased with. You can trade baskets, which we did in the first, 4 minutes of the half, and they go on a run, and then from there, that's when we got it going a little bit. But again, it started with the defense, with the deflections, and that's what got us out in transition.
And Fred Hoiberg says their offense got going in the second half against the Hoosiers.
Listen, it wasn't. I thought we moved it okay. We just couldn't. We weren't putting any heat on the rim in the first. I think we had 8 paint points at halftime and 16 in the second. We got to the free throw line 14 times. So I just thought our attack was much better. I thought we did a good job in the middle third. I thought we really attacked, and BK did a good job of sealing his man. You call that the Gortat, where he seals off, the big as we turn the corner. And, then I give Mikhail Jacobson was unbelievable. I thought he gave us just great minutes on both ends of the floor. It's good to see him out there hit a 3 and knock down his free throws. The way Braden handled adversity, he had 2 quick fouls in the first and then just made play after play for us there at the end of the game. And same thing with Price. He was pretty much shut out early in that thing. He hit 1 3, but then he loosened it up and got it going. So our guys just handled it really well. It wasn't going their way, but they didn't hang their head. They didn't pout. They just kept going.
And the coach credits Reich Mass with being a leader on this team in a situation when the Huskers fell behind by 16 points.
Reich can talk, but, there's some timeouts where he keeps going, and I'll just let him go. I'll let him talk. I'll let him correct. I'll let him hold a teammate accountable, and then that creates dialogue. So when they're out on the floor, it's easier for them. And, we missed that a year ago with Rink not out there on the court with us. So, not only do you see what he's doing on the floor, but his leadership is just, so impressive. And then he steps up and hits the big 3 late. We ran a little pick and pop action. We dove the other slot or the other wing, got him out of there. We dove him short, and that opened up a good shot. I thought Jamarcus made a really good read on that play.
So again, the Huskers now 16-0 in the season. They've won 20 games in a row. They will play host to Oregon coming up on Tuesday. That game will be at 8 o'clock on BTN. So the Nebraska men, they continue to win. The Nebraska women picking up a tough loss yesterday against UCLA, and they'll be back in action again here this week. So that's your recap on Husker basketball from the weekend.
Should be fun late night basketball Tuesday. Dana Altman coming back to Nebraska. 8 o'clock start. Huskers and Ducks.
Nice on a weekday. 8 o'clock.
Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it?
Well, you got to get it in for TV.
Well, and also the Oregon viewing audience, too.
Yeah, that'll be a 6 o'clock start out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll take it. We've been in this boat before.
Yep.
Nebraska and Oregon coming up tomorrow at PBA. All right, waking up with Mike and Tyson here this morning at 7:55 on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning news update on Extreme Sports.
We'll start at the casino, where Grand Island police say a reported bomb threat at the Grand Island Casino over the weekend turned out to be a swatting call. Officers were called to the casino at around 2 o'clock Sunday afternoon after a caller claimed multiple bombs were inside the building. Police responded quickly and worked with the casino security, but no explosives or weapons were found. Investigators later determined the call was made by a spoofed phone number through a third-party service. Nearby areas, including the Heartland Event Center, were temporarily cleared as a precaution. Meanwhile, lawmakers in Nebraska proposed several new laws at the state capitol on Friday. One bill would create a new tax break to help first-time home buyers save for down payments and closing costs. Another proposal would change how members of the state's Medical Cannabis Commission are selected, shifting from governor appointments to elections, after critics say the current commission has not moved quickly enough to implement medical cannabis laws that voters approved. Meanwhile, debate spilled over about Capitol decorations. That wrapped up on Friday with an apology from Senator Michaela Cavanaugh, who removed a poster display earlier in the week. She had removed the posters produced by Prager University, a conservative advocacy group, for the 250th anniversary of the Declaration of Independence. Cavanaugh said at the time she did not know the display had been approved by the Capitol Commission. It is now 7:57. We'll head back to the East Side Studios. Mike, what's going on in sports?
Well, Nebraska assistant gymnastics coach and Olympic gold medalist Jim Hartung has died at the age of 65. Hartung won a gold medal in the 1994 Summer Games in Los Angeles and has been an assistant coach with the Huskers for the past 19 seasons. Corey Brown has been hired as a new defensive line coach at Nebraska. Brown has spent the last 3 years as a defensive line coach at Miami of Ohio. Bellevue West graduate Danny Kalin is returning to the Nebraska football team. Kalin redshirted with the Huskers in 2024 and transferred to Virginia for the 2025 season. As a Cavaliers backup quarterback, he played in 7 games, completed 30 of 52 passes for 339 yards and a touchdown. He also rushed for 72 yards. Kalin will join a quarterback's room that also includes T.J. Lateef and UNL transfer Anthony Calandria. Redshirt sophomore linebacker Willis McGahee IV has withdrawn from the transfer portal as returning to Lincoln. McGahee saw action in 5 games this year and finished with 4 tackles and 2 tackles for loss. And the Huskers have gotten commitments over the weekend from defensive back Victor Evans from Florida International, long snapper Jack Wills from Michigan State, and wide receiver Kawazi Gilmer from UCLA. That's a check on your sports headlines. 7:58 now on Extreme Sports.
It's time for a morning weather update on Extreme Sports with Chief Meteorologist Tim Jones.
We're back to the weekly grind on this Monday, but at least the weather will be quite mild, if not warm this week. Today we'll have a high of close to 60 degrees, plenty of sunshine, and a light west wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. Overnight tonight, partly cloudy skies, a low of 37, all the way up to the low 60s on Tuesday with partly sunny skies. 33 with a chance of some sprinkles or snow flurries Tuesday night. Wednesday, we cool back to the low 40s with plenty of sunshine.
As you wake up, get going this morning, west winds at 7, partly cloudy. It is 28 in Hastings at Extreme Sports.
Hey, this is Mick from Miletta Vista Winery in St. Paul. Just a reminder, winter hours will be Saturdays, 11:30 to 9, January through February. That's just one day a week. But come in for lunch. Homemade soup specials on Saturdays. Stick around for the evening meals that start at 5. And And while you're at it, stock up on your favorite wines. Workhorse, Elephant Ear, Steuben Tiger, and more are available at Miletta Vista and wherever great Nebraska wines are sold. Miletta Vista Winery, good wine, good food, no snow boots required, but we won't judge.
Connet Auto Care is the trusted name in automotive repair and maintenance services in Hastings. We're a gold-certified Napa Auto Care Center. Our ASE-certified technicians have the Blue Seal of Excellence, receive continuous training, and are committed to providing the best service your vehicle can get. Whether it's preventative maintenance, major repairs, or just an oil change, Connet Auto Care is here for you.
All right, Mike Willentyson of Ronick with you. It's a Huddle Up on Extreme Sports as we get you out the door here this morning. Another work week, another Monday. Did I see right? Are you back?
First work week.
Yeah, back in the teaching ranks today?
First work week in several work weeks. Gonna see if we can,
How's that gone for you? You're actually
remember how to function.
Yeah, you've got to get up and actually head to a job.
No. I think I can do it.
Head to a job today.
I don't remember what it's like. The last 3 weeks, I be honest with you, I don't really know what day it's been. Just kind of show up, and then we had, of course, the weird holiday schedule where we're on one day off for 2, on one day off for 4. That was kind of fun, but it really messed with my internal clock. So
yeah, I was at a point there I didn't even know what day it was.
It's Monday.
It is
and we're
Monday.
back to the grind until God.
School out. You
back to the grind until
spring break. You guys have a spring break?
We have a very small spring break.
So you're in it for the duration now, huh?
Yeah, we're in it for the long haul.
God, that'll be different for you. Actually, you have to go to work 5 days, or at least 4.
And now we call for a snow day. It's the dirty S word until you go back to school, and then it's like, all right, let's get a snow day in here, at least 1 or 2.
When's that going to happen?
We got to get hit.
Yeah, Tim just mentioned that the weather all week long is supposed to be nice. God, that's going to get us to the middle part of January.
We're due.
Oh yeah, because I told a lot of people this. Now, we're going to hit our average for snowfall this year, which is over 20 inches. So now instead of spreading that 20 inches out among December, January, February, and March, now that's going to be like condensed to about 6 weeks here.
It's going to be the February from hell.
Yeah, I think February is not going to be a good month for us. I haven't seen anything in that regards yet.
I have no expert knowledge to go by. Just 9 years of experience. Oh, by the way, speaking of 39 years experience, happy 40th birthday to the IT man.
Yeah, we celebrated that over the weekend.
The big 4-0.
We celebrated that over the weekend.
I'll join him in the 40 club in April.
God, you guys are getting old.
So say it about you.
So, yeah, anyway, that's what's on tap. We don't think that February and even the early part of March.
Just my gut feeling.
It always happens state tournament time.
Oh, God.
For basketball.
Yeah. Plan on going up a day early.
Like I said, I don't mind snows in March because usually it snows one day and then it gets up to like 70 the next day.
Then it melts.
It's all gone. That's all gone. So, yeah, we'll get some snow sooner or later. So maybe you can get a snow day here or there to get you through the next portion of your teaching schedule.
Although February is kind of fun because we get like those federal holidays, like those presidential holidays.
Do you get those off too?
Yeah, those are fun. I like those.
All right. All right, if you'd like to listen to the show again, maybe listen to the comments we had from maybe Williams, Fred Hoiberg, our discussion we had in the first half hour of the show, go to our podcast section and get the download. Listen to us at your convenience today. We appreciate that. Better yet, join us again tomorrow morning, bright and early, 7 o'clock. Huddle up on Extreme Sports. Have yourself a great day.
You've been listening to Huddle Up on Extreme Sports, Central Nebraska's new home for sports. Join us every weekday morning from 7 until 8 on Extreme Sports.